It's 2017 and Old Time Radio DVD is still here. Check out our new customer ownership program and the lowest prices ever. Just go to oldtimeradiodvd.com for full information about this wonderful program. Don't forget our new program, 123 Ready TV. Folks, this is really a great app for Android and Windows phones, computers, and tablets. And it's only $19.99. In the near future, we will be adding a new component to it, Old Time Radio. It's a great product for 2017. Visit oldtimeradiodvd.com today. Place your order. You'll be glad you did.
Mother, is Maxwell House the best coffee in the whole world?
Well, your father says so, and your father knows best.
It's Father Knows Best, transcribed in Hollywood, starring Robert Young as father. A half-hour visit with your neighbors, the Andersons. Brought to you by Maxwell House, the coffee that's bought and enjoyed by more people than any other brand of coffee at any price. Maxwell House, always good to the last drop. Conversation is a peculiar art, and probably the only one divided into genders. There is, for example, male conversation, such as an earnest, intelligent discussion of politics or science. Then there is female conversation, such as Millicent Murgatroyd's latest hairdo and the restraining influence of the two-way stretch. When it comes to universal conversation, however, there is one item that stands head and shoulders above the rest. That's why, perhaps, we find the Andersons, male and female, large and small, gathered in the kitchen and diving headlong into a discussion on the world's most popular subject, food. Like this.
I tell you, Margaret, that's the trouble with the world today. We're digging a grave with our teeth.
Yes, dear.
It's an established fact that food has killed more people than anything else in the world.
Yeah, but what a way to die.
But...
Well, holy cow, Dad, you have to eat.
Not the way you do.
He eats like a pig.
Okay, Kathy, just you wait, that's all.
Well, that's what Betty said. Never mind, Knothead. Don't drag me into it. But you said...
Kathy, I was referring to the things we eat rather than the manner in which we eat them.
Don't pigs eat hamburgers?
That isn't the point.
Don't they, Mommy?
I imagine they would if they had the chance.
Then Bud eats like a pig.
Dad, do I have to stand here?
Of course not. Sit down.
Holy cow.
Now, if I may continue with what I was saying...
Jim, don't you think we better start from the beginning?
What do you mean, from the beginning?
Well, you just don't come up with a statement like that out of a clear sky.
A statement like what?
We eat too much.
That isn't what I said. What I said is, do you realize that over 90% of the people today eat food that is lacking in lecithin, cholesterol, and other substances necessary to the maintenance of proper health?
Jim...
Well, do you?
We don't even know what they are.
There, you see.
I wouldn't eat them if I did know what they were.
Of course you would. You eat them every day.
I thought you said we didn't.
I said you don't eat enough of them.
Enough of what?
Foods containing lecithin and cholesterol. Margaret, haven't you been listening?
Of course, dear, with bated breath.
The foods we generally eat, overcooked vegetables, potatoes, steaks, chops. When will dinner be ready?
In about 10 minutes.
Good. Certainly smells delicious. Ow!
Serves you right. I've told you 1,000,000 times not to snoop around the stove when I'm trying to work.
Well, I just wanted to see... what were we talking about?
You were talking about food.
And why people over 90 shouldn't have any.
I never said anything like that. I said 90% of the people shouldn't have any. 90% of the people today don't eat properly.
Because they use their fingers for a pusher.
Because they eat food that doesn't have the proper nutritional value.
Jim, are you trying to say that I'm not giving you and the children the proper sort of food?
Oh, no, honey. Well...
We have 3 normal, healthy children.
Of course we do.
And we don't need any of that, let's get thin and clutterol.
Lecithin and cholesterol.
Well, whatever it is. And if you aren't satisfied with the way I cook...
Margaret, you're misunderstanding the whole thing. I never said that children weren't healthy.
If Kathy was any healthier, we'd all have to move out.
Bud.
Well, good gravy, the way she tears around.
I am merely trying to point out that the American people are eating themselves into oblivion.
Where's that?
Kathy, go wash your face.
I just did.
Wash it again.
But, Daddy.
Go ahead, dear.
Gee whiz, every time there's an argument, I have to go wash my face.
There isn't any argument. I'm merely telling your mother about a book.
Well, finally.
What kind of a book, Dad?
All you have to do is mention something around here, and everybody thinks it's an argument.
No one said anything about an argument, Jim.
Kathy did.
What kind of a book, Dad?
She very distinctly said we were having an argument.
Don't pay any attention to her, Father. She just doesn't like to wash her face.
Well, that's no reason for her to accuse me of starting an argument.
What kind of an argument, Dad?
What?
I mean, what kind of a book, Dad?
What kind of what book?
I don't know.
Jim, won't you please start from the beginning?
Honey,
What is all this nonsense about food and books?
it isn't nonsense, Margaret. It's a very good book called Learn to Live and Like It. Matter of fact, it's brilliant.
Betty, please turn the heat down on the potatoes.
You bet.
Dr. Milford Clark is one of America's leading authorities on dietary deficiencies, and he proves conclusively that civilized people don't know how to eat.
You mean he'd rather we ate our food under the table than on it?
I mean, honey, have you ever used fenugreek seeds?
What?
Fenugreek seeds. You use them for cooking.
Not in this house.
Well, there's no need to get upset. There's nothing horrible about them.
What are they?
Fenugreek seeds? That's an herb containing choline, a lipotropic substance used clinically to dissolve deposits of cholesterol.
So what else is new?
But if you'd listen a little more and talk a little less, you might learn something.
About seeds?
About a lot of things.
Did I miss anything? Is the argument all over?
There wasn't any argument.
How do you like my face now?
It's fine. It's probably one of the finest faces I've ever seen.
Why, Daddy.
Ask him about the Upper Creek seeds.
The what?
Bud.
You told everybody else.
About what?
Kathy, why don't you go wash your hands?
But I just got through.
Go ahead, Kathy.
Gee whiz. Someday I'll wash once too often and I'll disappear.
Jim, what do Dr. Clark and the whoozy what seeds have to do with us?
They are not whoozy what seeds. They're fenugreek seeds.
Oh, I beg your pardon. How could I possibly be so stupid?
And they've got plenty to do with us. Fenugreek seeds are the basis of the diet Dr. Clark is going to explain at the Chamber of Commerce dinner.
Oh, that's who he is.
Who is he?
Well, let's not rush things, Angel. We'll get our information one step at a time.
If we live that long.
Now, see here, Bud.
If who lives how long?
Kathy, I thought I told you to wash your hands.
But I just remembered. They got washed while I was doing my face.
Margaret.
Leave the child alone, Jim. She isn't getting anything any more confused than it always is.
I didn't even say anything.
Who has? Dear, would you like to tell us about Dr. Clark, or shall we finish our game of 20 questions?
I don't know why you're making all this fuss about a perfectly simple little thing. I swear I don't. Dr. Clark is the guest of honor at the dinner Saturday night, and I have to introduce him. That's all there is to it.
So you read his book?
That's right.
Sounds more like you swallowed it.
All right, Bud, that does it. From now on...
The bell. Excuse me, Dad. I have to
Come back here.
But it's the front door, and I have to...
I said come back here.
But you always tell me I'm supposed to drop everything when the front door
Kathy,
goes...
see who's at the front door like a good girl.
But it's Bud.
Bud and I have certain little things to discuss. Go ahead, kitten.
Yes, Daddy.
Scab.
Now, Mr. James Anderson, Jr.,
Jim, I don't think I can stand this another minute. Will you please finish about Dr. Clark?
I'd rather finish about my wisecracking son.
I'll be glad to wait, Dad.
Well, Dr. Clark is a friend of Mr. Edwards.
The president of the Chamber of Commerce.
Right. And he has a diet which he claims will add 20 years to the normal span of a man's life.
Mr. Edwards?
Dr. Clark.
Oh.
So they figured that the dinner would be a good place to show what a wonderful diet it is. He asked me if I'd be willing to say a few words of introduction.
Dr. Clark did.
No, honey, Mr. Edwards did.
Go ahead, dear.
That's all there is to it, except that it's a wonderful diet.
With fenugreek seeds.
Fenugreek seeds.
I didn't say anything.
Good. You see, the doctor explains in his book that life is maintained in direct ratio to the lack of obesity in man. Now, a diet of raw food such as kale, cabbage, raw egg yolk, olive oil, and liver fat will tend to discourage any inclination toward overeating.
And how?
And he claims...
Daddy, it was the cleaner. Mr. Manassian?
No, Dr. Oh.
He brought back your tuxedo. Do you want me to take it upstairs?
Jim, you didn't have that horrible old thing cleaned again.
There's nothing horrible about it.
But we agreed the last time that you needed a new one, and if you keep going to these dinners...
What's the matter?
Hold it up, Kathy.
Yes, Mommy.
Well,
Something wrong?
no, it looks fine.
That's what I told you. All it needed was a good cleaning.
Shall I take it upstairs?
I'll take it, kitten. I want to see if he moved the button far enough.
Jim, there isn't any connection between moving a button and Dr. Clark's reducing diet, is there?
It isn't a reducing diet, Margaret. It's a health diet. And I certainly think that after 15 years, I have a right to have a button moved.
Yes, dear.
It isn't that I'm putting on any weight. It's just that after it's been cleaned so much, it...
What's the matter, Dad? Can't you get it buttoned?
I can button it fine.
He just can't breathe, that's all.
Jim, I told you.
There's nothing wrong with the tuxedo. He must have moved the button the wrong way.
Sure.
Bud.
Oh, I was agreeing with you, Dad. He moved the button the wrong way. That's what I meant.
It looks real pretty, doesn't it, Daddy?
Yes, Well, let's forget about the tuxedo for the time being. Getting back to Dr. Clark.
Oh, dear.
I think we'll all be much better. Did you say something, honey?
Jim, you're not going on a reducing diet, are you?
Margaret, I told you, it is not a reducing diet. Naturally, it keeps you in condition, but it's not a reducing diet.
You won't be able to stay on it 2 minutes. Kale and cabbage.
And raw eggs.
I think we'll all do very well on Dr. Clark's diet.
Jim,
Oh!
Holy cow, Dad.
Father, you don't expect us to eat that stuff. What stuff?
Liver fat.
The very least we can do is try.
Angel, we have 3 growing children.
And they'll grow healthier and live longer on Dr. Clark's diet. They'll learn to live and like it.
Jumping creepers.
Raw egg yolk.
And since there's no time like the present, we'll start with dinner.
You mean this dinner?
Now?
Right now.
I don't want to eat raw eggs for dinner.
You're not going to. Jim, I have the entire meal prepared.
I know, honey, but you've got to be firm with these things.
Well, I spent a whole day fixing your favorite meatloaf.
And when you... Meatloaf?
And scalloped potatoes.
Margaret, when you decide on a thing like this, you've got to go through with it. And we're all going on the Dr. Clark diet. First thing in the morning.
How would you like to have dinner at the Anderson home tomorrow night, Well, fenugreek seeds or no fenugreek seeds, you can bet there's one mealtime pleasure the Andersons will never give up. And that's the enjoyment of coffee. Really good coffee. In other words, our Maxwell House. And you know, there's a whole world of difference between rich, truly satisfying Maxwell House coffee and just coffee. The difference is that wonderful good to the last drop flavor. A flavor no other coffee has ever matched. A flavor that belongs to Maxwell House alone. Now, the reason no other coffee tastes like Maxwell House is that no other coffee is made like Maxwell House. You see, coffee beans grow all over the world, and there are countless grades and varieties of them. But on the mile-high plateaus of Latin America, there grow a few rare, choice kinds of coffee beans, rich in flavor, bursting with goodness. And it is these extra flavorful varieties that first and foremost are chosen for our Maxwell House blend. For example, fancy Manizales coffees are selected for fragrant mellowness, superb Medellins for extra richness, choice Bucaramangas coffees for fine, full body.
Yes, it is these fine vintage coffees, blended in just the right proportions, that create that world-famous good to the last drop flavor. A flavor